Hey, Ann Nichols. What's up? What's up? How you doing? Let me stir this coffee right quick, y'all. Just got through eating breakfast. I made some flounder and grits and having a cup of coffee. I hope all is well. I was on earlier today and I said I would come back, and I'm back. So, yeah. So I'm waiting for some people to come on in. Hit the like button as you come on in, and if you want to drop down, this is going to be very interesting because I'm not sure. Thank you for the likes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, wow, a lot going on, you know. So let me put my stuff together right quick. Y'all hit the like button. Come on in and say hello, and I'll be right here. Give me a couple seconds. Y'all hit that like button. Come on in, man. Good Sunday afternoon. I know it's afternoon by now. Yes, it is. I don't know what YouTube is doing, but notifications are slow, or maybe people are just not interested. But we're going to work it out. I know people probably at church. It's Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon. So anything could be going on, with their family and stuff, church and everything else. But we're going to talk about it. Y'all catch the replay on this one. They want their money and they're coming for it. Y'all remember the pandemic? Of course, we're not going to forget the pandemic. But during that time, and this is all over the wire. If you hadn't seen it yet, the SPA, the small business, they're coming back for their money. They're coming back for their PP loans that were obtained fraudulently. They have not let it go. Even if you were forgiven, and they are coming back for all the loans that were taken out fraudulently. And if you were forgiven, they're considering that as well. Because based on that time, uh, doing the investigations and stuff, they're going to find out if you did receive a forgiveness. The forgiveness may have not, due to the fact that if you obtain that loan illegally and fraudulent information, they're coming back for those loans that were forgiven as well. You can look this up. Um, I think April 2020, this year here, uh, they made it clear that they're coming back for the PP loans. Anybody that took out loans with false employees, false records, false businesses, they're coming back for their money. 526, I think, billions of dollars. I'm gonna try to pull it up. Billions of dollars was taken, and their loans are over 500 plus loans are under investigation now. Were submitted for investigation. Um, that's crazy, man. I remember when that stuff first started, and people had approached me like, you want to get, you can get $20,000. You can get $20,000. I'm like, no, you can get some jail time. I'm not touching them people money. Yeah, people, y'all may have had people approach you talking about they can get you $20,000, get you $20,000. All you got, I was one of those people that you could not get. But go ahead and look it up. Small business. I forgot what it's called. No, SB something. I'll get that information once my tablet But they're not playing. They're coming for their money. They're coming back for the money. They extended the investigation. Was supposed to have been 7 years. They got approved to extend the investigation to 2030 and possibly beyond. Put it right in the chat if you're in here. Um, yeah, so they're coming back for the money. They're so people that thought they got away with these PP loans under fraudulent circumstances, you may be under investigation. Even if were forgiven, um, now you might be in trouble. I'm not sure how they're going to make contact, what they're planning on doing, if it's going to be criminal or civil. I guess it's going to be according to the amount of money you took. If you had a business at all and you just created a business just to get the money, I don't know. But they're coming. And I'm going to see if I can get it pulled up. Anybody heard about it? Anybody else heard about that? That they're coming for their money? That let me see if I can get them information. Hold up. Hey, Ann Nichols, can anybody hear me? I don't know. I don't know if my chat's working or what. But Ann Nichols is the only one I see. Anybody else in here? Y'all just standing by. But maybe y'all in the middle of something. But the only person I can see is Ann Nichols. Hey, B. Smith. B. Smith, how are you? So glad I didn't mess with that money. Me too. Yeah. Let me see what I got here. Yep, because I had people coming to me trying to tell me you can get this money. Government ain't giving this money $20,000. Some people went and got 40,000. Some people went back twice. Nobody. Mm-mm. I say the government, she's I knew they were gonna double back. I knew that, and I didn't do it because I knew they were double back. I didn't do it because I know it wasn't right. I know I didn't want any issues, and it wasn't right. So even if they weren't coming back, I just wasn't gonna do it. Um, yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, I had people coming out the woodwork asking me, and I guess what it was is that they were going to get a cut from it or something. But I had people try to get me to do it, but I said hell to the no. That's what I said. No, not today. uh. So what we have here. So what I read, and you can look it up for yourself. Um, and I know people thought that this stuff wouldn't have happened. But I was like, y'all know they're going to come back and get their money, y'all. Because people I knew that got it, they bought cars and shit. They were buying cars. I mean, come on. Come on. They bought cars, y'all. People were buying cars with this money. And I don't know. But yes, there is evidence that the federal government is continuing and in some areas increasing its effort to investigate and recover money that tied to suspect PP loan fraud. A mother and two of her children going time right now from my hometown. I know them well. Wow. I know so many people that did it too, and they still think it's sweet. Yo, they still think they got away with it. The U.S. Small Business Administration announced that it referred more than 560,000 loans involving over $22 billion in suspect pandemic-era fraud for collection and enforcement action. The Department of Justice created a new National Fraud Enforcement Division. In 2026, this division was just created just for the pandemic. Okay? They just created this division to track people down for this PP loan in 2026. Department of Justice created a new National Fraud Enforcement Division in 2026 and has publicly stated that fraud involving COVID relief programs, include PP loans, is priority. Federal prosecutors are still bringing criminal and civil PPP fraud cases in 2026, including guilty pleas, indictment, prison sentences, and financial settlement. PP-related fraud investigation can remain active for years because Congress extended the statute of limitation for many pandemic fraud offenses to 10 years. That's over 30 for 30 years or more, from 2030 or more. So you got another 4 years to be concerned if you took them PP loans under fraud. Oh man, I don't know. I hope nobody in my family did it. People who legitimately receive PP loans and follow the rules generally are not focused on the enforcement. People who allegedly use false payroll records, fake businesses, stolen identities, or other misrepresentation to obtain or forgave loans. These are primary targets of the current investigation. So if your loan was forgiven, because they had a period, they were asking people to forgiveness because they took the loan out and they couldn't pay it back. They're going after those people also. So if you were forgiven, they're coming after you too. So the PP loan crackdown, you mean large scale? Okay, here it is right here. Potential consequences: repayment of demand for loan amounts, civil penalties, criminal charges. Prosecutor believed there was intentional fraud such as false payroll records, fake employees, fake business, or identity theft. They may press criminal charges. So if you did something more than just apply, okay, if you create a whole business with no business, if you create a false payroll with no people, or you use somebody else's identity to get it, that's what asset seizures or restitution may be in order as well. They're looking for intentional fraud, knowing providing false information. Mistakes, misunderstanding, or paperwork error are not really included. Whether people are charged is going to depend on the evidence involved, whether they were deliberate. So yeah, this is happening, y'all. A loan being forgiven simply means the government initially approved forgiveness based on the information provided at the time. If evidence later showed that the information was fake, the forgiveness decision will be challenged. If you paid back the loan, it doesn't automatically erase the fraud because it was obtained through illegal, intentional deception. So, yeah, that's what's happening, y'all. Loan forgiveness does not automatically end scrutiny. In 2025, the Small Business Administrator Inspector General reported that the SBA used a special hold code for some PP loans that were forgiven. So, y'all remember when people were checking to see if their people had PP loans and they were red flag? Those are the loans that were forgiven but not forgotten. If y'all remember, there were loans. If people say, let me go see if this person got PP loan, right? And y'all went and y'all checked. Y'all want to see if your relatives got that loan. I did. You want to see if your friends got the loan. And you know they had a SBA had a list out. And you saw flags. That was letting them know, yeah, we forgiving you, but you still under scrutiny. You still going to be investigated. That's what that red flag meant. That they were still, they may have been forgiven, but they still under investigation. Anybody remember those times? I don't know if anybody did. I was nosy. I looked to see who may have gotten a PP loan. And sure enough, some had red flags next to their names. So they use a special hold code for PP loans that were already forgiven but later flagged as potential Yep, there it is. Those red flags next to people's names, they were hold codes, letting them know, we gonna forgive them, but we may have to come back later. And I remember seeing red flags next to people's names who were forgiven that I know. And so, yep, I am so glad, thank God, that I did not even consider. A lot of people lost their jobs at my former place of employment. They caught a lot of high profile people too. They caught a lot of not high ranking. They caught a lot of ranking people um, at my former place of employment. One of my former place of employment that did it. I mean, ranking professionals that got those PP loans. Yes, everybody like I'm sitting back in the cut. I ain't got shit to say. I ain't got nothing to say. Mm-mm. See, I like I said, everybody, most people thought it was free, or maybe I don't know how you think. I maybe I don't know if you know you. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to explain it. If you have to make up a business name and the number of employees, and you have to make up payroll, you know, you come on now. You kind of know that it. But like I said, people are not perfect. But yeah, the government said it's coming back. Uh, the statute of limitation for the PP fraud is 10 years. Congress passed a law in 2022 extending it for criminal and civil and criminal enforcement. So those of you, so what they said is it went up from 2020 to 2030. So anything, so it went from 2020. If you got from any 2020 loans, that means investigation prosecution continues to 2030 and beyond. The government is actively reviewing older pandemic loans. In April 2026, the SP announced they referred approximately 562,000 suspected fraudulent PP loans and EIDL loans totaling $22 billion for collection. They shared the borrower's information with the Department of Justice. Not every flag loan will result in criminal charges. So it states that even if you repay the loan back and you had a forgiveness, you're not clear of the investigation. They're still going to look and see if there's any fraud. I mean, I think if you paid it back, no gonna lie, I thought about doing it, so I soon forgot about it, says B.S. Smith. Let me tell you, man, I mean, the way people was coming like, yeah, but and you saw people around you just, some people didn't even have jobs, but what's wrong, Kobe? Kobe? Barking in his sleep. Now I never, B. Smith, when soon it was handed talk, I'm like, no, that don't seem right to me. That don't seem right to me. So, yeah. Hey, Robin Williams. I said it didn't seem right. What? Nope. I don't need. Because the government, if y'all know the government come after people for food stamps and unemployment shit, y'all know they going to come back for this stuff here too now. Y'all know the government going to come back. It may take them some years, but they ain't going to forget you. Trust me. Taxes, they ain't going to forget. Food stamp, they ain't going to forget. Unemployment, they're not going to forget. So, the government sit there and just wait. Hell, I just got my tax bill back. Jeez, y'all. Whew. And trust me, I did as much write off as I could. But my tax bill, ooh. So that's what's going on, y'all. So if you know, I would look it up, and if just to make sure. But I just saw it coming through down the wires and stuff. I said, let me let everybody know, just in case they know somebody. Hey, if you got that PP loan, they might be coming your way in the next 4 years. They want their money back. And a lot of people in my household that I knew was balling with that money with no business, but made one. But made one. Yeah. Now there were people that took the money and created businesses. Like there are people that took the money that started businesses, but like I said, there are people that just was balling, man, buying cars and shopping and traveling and stuff, and I'm like, kind of like, dang. People that were getting SSI checks were getting loans too. Um, I don't know how they got through that, but they got getting SSI checks and got PPP loans. I'm like, dang, y'all bold. Y'all are bold. But I would just, yeah, I just saw it and wanted to share with you guys. Let me see here. Oh, what else is going on? Let me put my goals on, y'all. I didn't set my goals. I was trying to, but if y'all want to contribute to the to the channel, please feel free to. Channel. Let's see. About 1 hour. Let's see. Let's see. Let's do that. And yeah, if you guys want to contribute to this channel, uh, super sticker, super chats, um, much appreciated. Thank you. Um, yeah, some people were really balling with this money, and like I said, most bought new cars. Most bought new cars, and I'm like, dang, wow. But I told them, I said, y'all, this thing gonna double back sooner or later. They're not gonna let out $22 billion. You think they're gonna let $22 billion walk away? Oh no, they're not gonna do that. No, no, these here made up a business. They became home day. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay. So you said most of them. You know what? A lot of them did like cleaning. Like they were what do you call it? Cleaning people. Like yard care, doing yard care, or home daycare, or or maids and stuff like that. You think it was? I don't think it was a setup, Kimberly. I don't think people. I don't. I kind of disagree. It was a setup because if you have to lie to go get it, and it was made for people that actually were suffering, whose businesses were closed, who couldn't pay the employee, but um, if somebody found a way to do it, and knowing that the government was in a disarray because the pandemic, they didn't think nobody was going to live. We thought the end of the world was coming, Kimberly. We thought the end of the world was coming. We weren't sure if who was going to make it or not. Like I said, that's why we had pandemic schools and stuff. People were allowed to go to school. We had pandemic jobs. Everything was, unsure. But I think when you have to Small business needed that money during that time. Yeah, people that had their businesses needed that money because they were still trying to pay their employees. They were still trying to stay open some kind of way and also pay their employees as well. And that's what it did. If not even stay open, just to keep the business, pay off the bills, and pay employees. But somehow somebody found a way, and it spread it. Somebody did it, and then somebody else showed somebody how to do it, and then some people did it on a bigger scale. Remember, a lot of the people they caught were major businesses. Like, they caught millionaires that was doing it. Now, we're not going to lay this on the lap of just poor people or people, struggling. We're talking major businesses that did it. We're talking people that had major businesses that took advantage and got caught and had $2 or $3 million all in monies that they created from these fake businesses and was able to buy mansions, airplanes, and cars. So it didn't lie in the lap of people that were struggling and thought this was a way to, it didn't lie in the lap of people that they thought was, all poor. No, major rich people, rich companies took advantage of this too, and they stole a lot more. $20,000 compared to 8 million, 20 million. Look it up. You had people stealing at millions of dollars. So it didn't lie in the lap of just poor people. They just tried to get a piece of the pie. They were just like me too. They had to know that someone was going to do something fraudulently, knowing people were doing that right thing because they lost their businesses. Yeah, but just because I know people have the capability, that ain't a setup. You have to go based on your morals. If I leave a candy bar on the table and it's not your candy bar, I ain't setting you up. That's not your candy bar. Don't touch it. If I leave $100 on the table, it is my $100, and you're not supposed to touch it no matter how open I leave it. If I walked away from it, it's not your $100. Even if I put it down as a setup, it's not your $100. You touched it. It's not my fault. You are responsible for your own morals. You can't blame anybody if somebody makes something look enticing. You should have, it did. I guess people made it so enticing because they were telling you one lady bought her husband a motorcycle, bought all the kids clothes and toys and opened businesses with the money. I mean, some people, yeah, not my money, So that's my thing, Kim. I can hear it looks like a setup, but people got to be. I know, but they were giving out so much money, and people were enticed by it. Exactly. That's what. Yeah, people were enticed. Like the people going in people's apartments, and okay, you in the apartment, you could pay your rent, right? That's another thing that pissed me off. There were people that were capable of paying their rent, but refused to pay that landlord their rent. Right? They refuse to pay the landlord. I'm sitting there, I'm going to work, I'm paying my rent, and there are people that got on programs that didn't have to pay their rent. And they were capable of paying their rent. But when that program ended, them landlords kicked out a lot of people. They kicked a lot of people out of their apartments because they knew. And the landlords lost a lot of money. I mean, they knew that these people were working, but they couldn't do anything to them because they were protected under the pandemic laws at that time. Could you see the landlord sitting there knowing that you are capable of paying them, but you didn't pay them? That right there was a situation that here I am going to work every day, paying my rent every month, and somehow you were able to finagle in so there were a lot of things people got during the pandemic and took advantage of because it was enticing. Not having to pay rent, all the extra money that kept paying my rent, and all my bills stayed the same throughout the pandemic. I didn't get nothing. The only thing I think I got was when they gave the kids the money for the food stamp. Did get that. That's no lie. My daughter got that through the school. And they sent the money. It was nothing out of my control. It wasn't for me. Her name was on the card. And they sent it to her from the school she was in. So, yeah, that was it. That is the only thing I got was that food stamp that was legally. That's the only thing I got. Other than that, I didn't get no help with no light bill, no help with no rent. But a lot of people in the apartment complexes got kicked out once the landlords had the right to remove them from the apartments for non-rent. Um, so, yeah, you can't pay rent and light bill. Hey, Chi-Town, Luann sister, and I know and I know people were in places probably where they were, so many things was going on. And yet, like you said, Kim, it was, like I said, it was enticing. Some people were probably struggling. And, here comes people saying, hey, you can get this money. Um, and, you just give me this and you get this much. You give me a couple thousand, you keep 18,000 or whatever, how they worked it out. But I wish possibly maybe invest the money some kind of way so you have some return on it. But some people ain't got nothing to show for what they did with the 20,000 or $40,000 they got. I thought about it too, but I didn't do it. Kim said I thought about it too. I mean, so many people was doing it around me, and I was like, nah, buddy. It just didn't even come to my mind to even want to try, because I'm like, mm-mm, 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 nah. But yeah, one of my friends, when she was getting her unemployment, you know how they made unemployment just crazy. People were getting crazy money on unemployment. I think I had one friend, she was getting $1,000+ a week on unemployment, right? I had another friend, she was getting her, but she said when she went back to work, they sent her a check. And she said, she told them no. She said that money still sits there. They wouldn't come get that money. She refused to spend that money. I said, you still got that money in your account? She said, yeah. She said, I already told them that this is their money. She said, I'm not spending it. That's my friend in North Carolina. But the other one, man, she was getting $1,000 a week in unemployment. $1,000 a week in unemployment. Or maybe more. Maybe more. And I believe she went back to work and was still getting it. I can't remember. But it was so much money out there. But this is the price. I think even today we're paying the price for it. Like my car insurance, and they told me this. Remember I told y'all my car insurance, I had my car insurance, my renter's insurance, and my life insurance policy with State Farm, and for all of that, that was like under $150. And all of a sudden, my insurance shot up 25, then $50. So I called State Farm. I called my agent. I'm like, what's going on? They said, recovery from the pandemic. We're trying to get our money back. Uh-huh. Why are you trying to get your money back from me? They said they lost so much money during that time that they're trying to recover. So there was a price to pay. I mean, ain't nothing never free. The unemployment was crazy back then. Big money, beast. Utah, man, beast. I couldn't even get unemployment. I didn't even get unemployment. I was working, of course, but people were working and still getting unemployment. People went back to work and still. Oh my God, oh my God, y'all. It was crazy. It was crazy. It was crazy. And like I said, the government had no oversight at the time. They didn't have the people in the office running these papers. You apply, you got it. They didn't have anybody following these guidelines and doing checks and balances at that time. It was the pandemic. Paperwork was coming in. Whoever was there, check, check. We'll get them later. Check. We'll get them later. Check. Flag them later. Flag them later. Send them the money. Send them the money. Send them the money. That's that's in my opinion how that was being done. Because like I said, even with Medicaid, a lot of my clients lost their Medicaid in 2023 after the pandemic protection stopped on Medicaid. And they stopped doing the automatic rollover from 2020 to 2023. They were doing some people were being automatically turned over with no research. And I don't know if anybody remember if you worked within the system. So all of my clients that were receiving Medicaid and coming to the clinic for services for therapy or medications and stuff, they lost their Medicaid because in 2023 the government started sending research papers out, and these suckers was working and still receiving Medicaid. They went to work. Nobody was double checking. Nobody was checking. So they went to work, and when Medicaid caught up with the research and asked them questions about the income and stuff, they were still working. And I think millions of people lost their Medicaid or government assistance when they found out that they had been working. And a lot of people, man, Amazon was the main place a lot of people went to work. And these people were making $24, $25 an hour and still getting Medicaid. Touchdown, yeah, I thought that was crazy. So many was doing it. Yeah, people were getting and Medicaid just caught up with them and started catching up with people in 2023. Some people probably still getting caught up, and they lost their Medicaid, they lost their government assistance, whatever they were getting. Once they researched and it showed, because you know the system know when you work. The system knows when you. Some systems are caught up. I know definitely in Chicago, if you on assistance and you receiving aid, the minute you are employed, they know that you on a job somewhere. But the system was not working and people finally got caught up. Yeah, now that's happening in Chicago. So, well, parts of Chicago, the suburbs, and stuff like that. Trust me, not only Chicago, but out surrounding areas, a lot of people was doing it. A lot of, like I said, ain't a lot of poor people now. People that had ranking jobs for paying 100,000 a year did it. People with jobs, six figures, y'all. So many six-figure employees, supervisors lost their job for them PP loans. Y'all, I mean, people that you think would know better. I mean, government officials, government administrators. You know, all these people lost their jobs. So it wasn't just at the door of people that were struggling. Anybody thought that they were going to get ahead and get away with it, did it. They did it. And now it's time to pay the piper. Hey guys, I got a goal up there. So if you guys want to help with the goals, I got 10 goals. If y'all want a super sticker, super chats, or gifts, please feel free to help me reach my goal of 10. It's only 10. You don't have to do, major goals. I only have 10 goals. So if you feel that you want to send some goals during this conversation, please feel free to. Not obligated, but I appreciate the support on the channel. So, and thank y'all for hitting that like button. So, all the times you were checking, you see if some people had those PP loans, and you saw their names with that red flag on it, that's what it was. That's what they were. That's what they were doing, flagging those names. So let's see. Okay. So that's what's going on. Y'all hit the like button. Hit the like button and everything. Smith and Nichols. So yeah, that's what's going on, guys. I'm not going to stay on longer. I just came back to share this information with you all. So yeah, look it up. I don't know how how this is going to look in the future for a lot of people that got it. Um, it's crazy, but yeah. Thank y'all for hitting the like button. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. At least 1 minute of contact needs to create a shot. Oh, okay. I didn't know I can create a shot from the live. Okay. But that's what's going on, y'all. Hit the like button. I'm going to get up out of here. It's been almost an hour, 45 minutes, and I'll see what else is going on. I'll probably come back later. I have a great day when I getting my tire changed. Okay, Kimberly McNeil. So you guys have a great day. Be awesome, be kind, be the change you want to see. And I'll see y'all later.